Peace and blessings. Welcome to Real Life with Real Talk. I'm your girl, Real Talk Tiff.
Yurima Karama.
And I'm Safia.
And today we're talking about interracial relationships. So, Yurima, the look on your face.
You putting it on me. Here we
Of
go.
course. You know I'm going to ask you first because it's girls.
Okay.
So, how many times have you dated outside of your own race?
Quite a few times. Not the fingers. Yeah, I've dated quite a few times. Specifically, especially when I was in college.
Okay.
When I was younger.
I know you got a lot of heat from the sisters about that.
Yeah. You know, I did. And when I was younger, I didn't understand it like I do now.
Okay.
When you're younger, it's kind of like experimentation. You don't understand the full gamut, so to speak, of what sisters, black women go through. You don't understand the full gamut of really what white women, have been told. So you don't know that like I dated one white lady when I was in college, and it was like her father had always said, I don't want to see you with a black man specifically. That's how she was raised. And her mother, her grandmother,
Wow.
they hated black people. And it was crazy because she didn't let me know this until she brought me to her home.
Oh, you're the experiment.
And so but the father, the father and the mother were no longer together. So
okay.
when she brought me to the home, I got to meet the grandmother and the mother. And what was so surprising to her was that she was like, they like you. She said, they don't like black people. I've dated black guys all my life. And so, but what I didn't know at that time was you date black guys specifically to defy what your parents.
Okay.
And so that's kind of been my experience. And
is it an issue for you?
It's not an issue for me. I think one of the reasons why is because I'm married. That's one of the reasons why. Another reason why is because, my grandfather was through an interracial relationship.
Right.
So, I did meet people from different races, and the way I was brought up, we were, very cultural centric,
Right.
just learn about different people.
And I know that has to play a major part in it is that upbringing. I was raised to not really see it. I have a multicultural family anyway. Mm-hmm. The skin tones in my family range from passing. I have cousins who, they're out there now. Big names. They look like they're white. When I see them on TV, I go, but you're not. And then I have people darker than the fireplace screen. And we're all blood. And it's not just, that's my cousin's auntie's son. These is close first cousins, second cousins. We grew up on the farm together, so to speak. So it's never been an issue. And when I see the multicultural couples, especially black men, with women of other cultures, I'm sizing him up. I ain't want him anyway. Or,
That's my thoughts.
Or, good for them. It's good to see couples this day and age anyway. If he's genuinely in love, she's genuinely in love, applaud black love. Because if there's a black person in it, guess what? It's black love.
Okay, this is real life. This is real talk. I'm gonna be honest. When I dated outside the race, I couldn't stand to see a sister with a white dude. Couldn't stand it. My blood would boil. Look, I used to tell my younger sister, you better not date a white dude.
You know we love you, right?
Yeah.
You know you ain't but two sun's hands off.
but
yourself.
But it's usually the light skinned dudes that put in the most work. So,
Oh boy.
That's a rumor.
I'm just saying.
But my question is this: where's the double standard at? I mean, what makes that
You
double
know that was
standard
coming.
there?
How come it's cool for you to do it, but if one of us were to do it, you would have had a problem with that?
Well, and therein lies the problem. First of all, now, at this stage in my life, I just absolutely, and women are beautiful globally. Women are extremely beautiful, but I just find the black woman to be the most beautiful. I really
Good for
do,
you.
and so,
Smart man.
and so,
I'm gonna keep you around.
and so but that sentiment has also changed too, as far as seeing a black woman with a white man. And I know I talk to sisters all the time who are like, we see you brothers with white women, and we're just like,
Okay, but why
What
does
the hell?
interracial automatically mean white?
because I think that's the norm that we see in this country.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't agree with that at all.
I think
One
majority,
of
I
my
would.
favorite, one of my favorite couples around work
Mm-hmm.
is a black woman, and she has an Asian husband. And
That's
they
rare.
are. I don't think so. And they're so loving. They're so in tune with each other. They're like, they're more like siblings than a married couple because they just speak the same language. They met in the military, which is where I thought all interracial couples came from when I was younger.
Okay.
If I saw an interracial couple, I automatically assumed one of them was in the military and they found each other. I don't know where I got that perspective from, but that's what it was. So I automatically assumed somebody was in the military. It just happens in this case they were in the military.
Okay.
And it's beautiful. And when I hear interracial couples, I automatically think of the kids. They always have the most beautiful kids. But I think it's wrong of me. Self-reflection, I think it's wrong of me to say they always have the most beautiful kids. They, not meaning us. And it's not right because I have beautiful kids too.
Absolutely.
That whole interracial title is messy to me.
Well, it's messy because and I still say that you know, you will see Hispanic and black, you will see Hispanic and white, you will see Asian and black, or Asian and Hispanic, but those are rare. When we're talking about interracial relationships in this country, because race is such a big issue in this country,
Okay.
it's usually white on black, and whether that's a white man and a black woman, or I mean, I look at my thing, and this brings up another topic, like what's her name on Scandal, Livia Pope or whatever her name is. I've never watched the program.
Chick
But-
appreciation
yeah,
day.
exactly. So I mean, I hear so many sisters are like, that's the one week we can see, but I'm like, there's two things going on here. You're praising this sister who's with this white dude who's never going to marry her.
Is married.
Is married. He's never going to marry
Someone
her.
else.
But you will get on a brother quick about, you ain't going to have me as a side piece. And then two things, the slave master issue. The slave master always had his pick of the litter, so to speak, and he kept his wife.
And I dare
And
say,
so-
in what empire, in what country did the ruler of the empire not have his pick of the women in any culture, even African cultures?
Well,
Run that by me.
but it's always been in a
How's it
different context.
The woman tends to not have the choice. The man who's in charge, whatever culture, gets the pick of the women he wants, whether she wants it or not. Now you're getting into women's rights. Now I have an issue.
I don't agree on that as far as it being used in the same context that has been used in this country.
I recognize where you're coming from, and of course I'm just mixing up, playing devil's advocate, but it is a reality. Men in power presume to have the pick of the women they want, wherever they are. Black women have had their self-image torn down as long as we've been in this country.
Yeah.
At some point, Many of us black women are just happy to have the attention of someone who's not tearing us down, regardless of his motives. So the side chick, I don't like y'all. I think y'all are tearing up families. I'm just saying, I don't like what y'all do. Anywho, they have a place because someone is making them feel like they have a place. Someone is making them feel the way they need to feel. Like Olivia is in love because he's in love with her, even though he ain't gonna marry her.
Well,
Regardless of what color he is.
I would argue that there are other factors in place. And granted, the woman wants to feel good and all of that, but there's also numerically, mathematically, mathematically, women outnumber men
The ratio
3-to-1 in the world. That's a fact.
That's because
math don't lie.
Women are narrow-minded in their options. There are enough men to go around.
No, there's not. Numerically, there's not.
Do I need to jump online and pull up some numbers? Because I know
Please do.
I just read an article where there's countries where there are 3 times more men than women.
There might be countries. I'm talking worldwide.
All
Atlanta,
I'm saying is, sister,
Atlanta,
if you can't
GA.
get one in DC,
Atlanta, GA.
take a plane.
Women outnumber men in Atlanta 15 to 1.
Okay, but most of the men are with each other in Atlanta. 2-to-1.
Which poses another problem. Which poses another problem. So
You know what? Look, that's 4 topics right there. Can we stay on that? Interracial relationships here. This is where we at. Sister,
Yes.
if you saw me about to marry a white man, would you have a problem with it?
I would have to get to know him. But that's anybody.
Thank you.
Period. That's anybody.
I like her answer. It's about him, who he is, ain't got nothing to do with his color.
and I like her answer too. If we lived in a country that didn't care about color, I would love her answer. Unfortunately, we don't. And therefore, it reminds me, and I hate to bring this up, but
No, you don't.
I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it. I love to bring it up deep down because I'm going to keep it on race. The dude, there was a brother, and I don't want to mess up his name. It wasn't Amadou Diallo, but it was another brother, African brother, and police officer. I'm sure you remember the case. They stuck the plunger in his rectum in the police department in New York. It's and that officer is married to a black woman, very beautiful black woman at that. And so I find that you hear cases like that where
Right.
it's like you get these white men who can't stand black men, but they love black women. That's my problem with interracial relationships, because I tend to find very few that I've heard about that are authentic. And that's just real. That's real talk.
Real talk.